electro.
What's up, YouTube? It's Pac-Man Trolls here with another Magic the Gathering deck tech. This week we will be doing, or this video will be our Goblin deck tech that I've made, my red Goblin deck tech. We have our land base we'll start it out with here. We got 22 basic mountains. I'll just show you the side. That's 22 red lands. So we've got 22 red basic land. That's the land base of the entire deck. For our creatures, we're going to get into our... Mainly this deck is going to be focused on 4 mana at the highest. Everything else is used just to have out there. Get it out. For our 1-drops, we have 2 Spike Shot Elders. These are good cards to have. 1 red mana. For 2 red mana and 1 colorless, it deals damage equal to its power to a target creature or player. So it's a 1 damage to a target player or creature. I mean, helps out, does the job. Another 1-drop we have is 2 Goblin Fire Slingers. They're good. Again, target 1 damage to player if you tap it. 1 red mana, 1/1. Good card for the beginning. That's mainly this deck. I will be honest, is going to be all based on 1-drops and small creatures that are just going to get in and hit. That's goblins for you. Quick, speedy little demons. Alright, now we're going to start it up with another 1-drop we have. 4 Goblin Arsonist. These cards go great with a sorcery in the deck that I will be revealing later. Goblin Arsonist, 1 red mana, deals... When it dies, you can have it deal 1 damage to the creature or a player, and it's a 1/1. But they do a good job in the end. I've won games with those cards before. Another thing we have here, for our 2-drop cards we're getting into now, we have Mog Flunkies. This card is pretty decent, not bad at all for a 2-drop. 1 red, 1 colorless, it can't attack or block alone, and it's a 3/3. So it's pretty good for a 2-drop, to be honest. Another 2-drop we have, and I plan on getting maybe 1 more of these. Goblin Shortcutter. It's a 1 red and 1 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, the target creature can't block this turn. It's a 2/1. So this card can help you end the game too if there's only 1 creature on the battlefield for the opponent and you have an army of goblins in front of them. Another thing we have for a 2-drop is Goblin War Driver. 2 red, and it has Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets a +1 attack until the end of turn. And I have 4 of these bad boys, and it's a 2/2. So all your creatures get a +1 attack, boosting them up little by little to destroy, basically. This card, again, planning on getting maybe 1 more. And we're getting into the 3-drops now. So, Rummaging Goblin. 1 red, 2 colorless. Tap it, you can discard a card, mainly a land in this case, because you only need 4, and draw a card. And it's 1/1. This next card is the entire, one of the best cards in the deck, I should say. Goblin Chieftain. 2 red, 1 colorless, haste, and other goblin creatures you control get a +1/+1 and have haste. It's a 2/2 for 3, and it's good because it boosts up your entire army and gives them all haste. This is the next best card in the deck, by far. We're getting into the 4 mana drops now, and this is the 4 mana god of the entire deck. Krinko Mob Boss. 2 red, 2 colorless, you tap it and put X 1/1 red goblin tokens out, where X is the number of goblins you control. Double the size, triple the size, quadruple the size. You just keep boosting up, and it's a 3/3. Our only entire card in the deck that is not a goblin is our Hell Riders. Devils, 2 red, 2 colorless, haste. When a creature you control attacks, it deals 1 damage to the defending player, and it's a 3/3, and I have 3 of those. And now we have our sorceries. This is the one that goes very well with Goblin Arsonist, I was talking about earlier. Goblin Grenade. Basically, you tap 1 red mana. As an additional cost, you sacrifice a goblin, and it deals 5 damage to the player or a creature. So you can sacrifice your Goblin Arsonist, dealing 6 damage to a creature or a player. Just works together very well. For a beefy freaking creature in your way, because all your creatures are pretty tiny, you do that. Kill it off. Our next tokens help us build up the field with more. Next sorceries build up with more tokens. 1 red, 1 colorless. Put 2 1/1 red goblin tokens onto the battlefield. And I have 4 of those Krinko's Command. They're good cards to have. And we have our last bit of sorceries here. Wild Guess. 3 of those. 2 red. As an additional cost, you discard a card, mainly a land, draw 2 cards. Your best bet is get about 6 to 5 lands out, and you should be pretty damn good, to be honest. So that's my advice. And then you have 3 Wild Guess in the deck. Our only instance in the entire deck, and they do a good job of wiping a little bit of the board clean and maybe even dealing damage to your player, Brimstone Volleys. 1 red, 2 colorless, 4 of those guys I have, and they deal 3 damage to a target creature or player, and if deals 5 damage to a creature or player if a creature died this turn with Morbid. We're getting into the sideboard now. So, for the sideboard of this deck, I just kind of threw a couple of goblins together, and it did its job. Haven't really used it, but it's a good thing to do if you want it. I have 4 Foundry Street Denizens, more 1-drops, 1 red mana. Whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under your control, this gets a +1 attack until the end of turn, so it's a 2/1 whenever a red creature enters the battlefield for 1 drop. Not too bad. Pretty good card, honestly. Goblin. I have 2 Riot Pikers. These are actually pretty decent. 2 of these, 1 red, 1 colorless, first strike. It attacks each turn if able and has 2/1. So that's not bad. First strike helps out. We have 2 awesome Gutter Snipes. 1 red, 2 colorless. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. 2/2. And our last bit of cards here is Krinko's Enforcer. 2 red, 1 colorless, Intimidate, 2/2. That's the Goblin deck, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it nonetheless. Pac-Man Trolls is out. If you want to use it, go ahead. Like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.
Electro.